Back again for the next chapter. Next chapter of Rainbow Dash and Applejack go to White Castle. Wanted to get another one up today because I just felt like getting another one up. So here we go. This is chapter 3, Bucked Up. My life is ruined. Rainbow Dash sobbed in anguish, sitting on her haunches with her face buried in her hooves. The rope Pinky had tied her and Applejack in removed only moments ago. Applejack was sprawled on her back next to the Pegasus friend, rubbing her head. She had definitely hit it on the way down from the bucking roof. Pinky stood a few feet away from them, looking proud of herself and unsympathetic to Rainbow's tears. "You had no idea what you were getting into, Rainbow Dash," Pinky said smoothly, unlike her usual chipper and hyper self. Spike just ignored them altogether as he put on his fur coat, adjusting the hat on his head, then twirling his cane. "Smoking," he remarked. He had dealt with too much nonsense already tonight, so he wasn't getting into whatever those crazy mares were into. "No, you don't know what we were into," Rainbow bellowed at Pinky, jumping into the air and hovering over the earth pony, sticking a hoof in her face. "What the hell was all of that anyway? Were you brainwashed by some dare chump when you were a school filly?" Pinky became visibly angry at that. Miss Cheech and Miss Chong, Mr. Cheech and Mr. Chong were not chumps. They taught me so much about the evil of sea salt. Rainbow looked to be at a loss, trying to find a way to argue with Pinky, but nothing came to mind. "Gosh, will you chill her out already?" Spike grunted at Applejack and Rainbow, looking between the two. Chill me out? What's that supposed to mean?" Pinky demanded. "And who do you think you are, telling us how to deal with our friends?" Applejack added. "AJ, you're better with rope than any of us," Spike sighed, trying to reason with them, but his expression suggested it felt more like a chore to contend with the three mares. "Tie Pinky up. Now." "Huh?" the magenta mare exclaimed, looking at Spike like he had suggested she make out with one of the princesses. Caught in the spur of the moment by Spike's shout, Applejack obliged. She picked up the rope she had been tied up with by and caught Pinky by the hooves. The startled earth pony let out a whinny as she lost her balance and fell on her side. "Now the bag. You know, the bag," Spike urged. Applejack didn't catch on at first, but a spark of remembrance came into her mind. Applejack reached into her saddlebag and removed the bag of sea salt. "No way!" Rainbow Dash proclaimed before Pinky could process what was going to happen. Applejack shoved the bag inside out into her mouth and forced her to ingest the sea salt. Pinky gave out muffled cries for a moment before falling silent. Her eyes drooped and a little smile adorned her muzzle. When Applejack removed the bag from her mouth, Dash and Spike watched intently. Pinky said, "Ooh, I can see my nose from here." "Wow, that's it?" Rainbow murmured, cocking an eyebrow. "I was hoping the sea salt would make her chill out," Spike stated. "But yeah, to be honest, this is kind of underwhelming. But I'm not complaining." "Oh, well, okay." Oh, Rainbow nodded in agreement. "Well, anyway," Applejack huffed, "after that hookah, I'm a hankering for even more White Castle." "I don't even want to go to White Castle," Pinky drawled, still flopping on her side and staring at a display window of a shop. "Let's go somewhere with lots of colors and lights and colorful lights." "Fuck that. You're outvoted, Pinky. Let's get a move on already," Rainbow snapped. "What about Spitfire?" Spike asked. Rainbow shrugged. "She sure got over that quick." Applejack murmured into Spike's ear, sharing a dry expression with Spike. Guess her life isn't ruined yet, he added. Heh, sea salt's a drama killer, AJ echoed Spitfire's words. You know, AJ, you're right. After that hookah, I'm even more hungry than before, Rainbow complained. Behind her, AJ was forced to carry Pinky on her back since the pink earth pony refused to budge. Who's talking? Not the kind of reaction I was expecting from Pinky. Dang it, not the kind of reaction I was expecting from Pinky, Spike repeated as he watched the mare on Applejack's back, still murmuring random things. Well, her speech was still regular Pinkie Pie, but the hyperactive activity was completely dead. Applejack smirked, smiling a little. Which reaction? Back at the party or her licking up sea salt? She joked, making Spike smile wryly. If it wasn't with some slow flank earth ponies, I'd be there in 3/4 the time, Rainbow Dash continued to rant, heedless of the look Applejack was throwing at her. Tch, only a mare can still have mood swings even when high on sea salt, Spike muttered. Applejack either didn't hear or chose to ignore his quipe. Applejack, will you be my new couch? I need a new one, and you're it, Pinky suddenly chirped. Yeah, I don't think so, Applejack grunted back dryly. Aww. At least you can... Can I have your mane as the throw pillow? Pinky whined, hugging Applejack's blonde mane and like a stuffed animal. Again, I don't think so. No! Pinky screeched without a warning, making AJ and Spike jump. Rainbow spun around just as surprised at them. Dang it. Again. Who calls this late? It's like 10:30. Alright, well, sorry about the interruption. Just as surprised as them, I'm thinking is what that's meant to say. That scream had been uncharacteristically furious. Not so bad as when Applejack had broken her Pinky promise, but when Pinky had gone nutso with paranoia about her friends avoiding her, thinking they had abandoned her. Pinky flopped off Applejack and into the dirt. Oh, God. Must resist hell dust! Pinky staggered up to her feet, twisting and stretching so badly her veins bulged in her neck. She bared her teeth like a feral bear, snorting like a beast. Holy cow, Rainbow whispered, watching Pinky like she was some kind of carnival freak show. Applejack and Spike stumbled back away from the spasmodic pony. Right in the middle of her odd seizure, she halted. What sounded like a belch came up her throat as she gave a heave. Her cheeks puffed like a chipmunk's. Her rage-filled expression suddenly became triumphant. Smiling, her cheeks still looked like dodgeballs. She stood on her hind legs, raised her forelegs in the air, a display of victory and glory. Rainbow, Applejack, and Spike just exchanged curious glances. Pinkie Pie? Rainbow Dash asked cautiously, floating over slowly. Pinky dropped onto her forelegs and smiled giddily at Rainbow. She just raised an eyebrow. Okay, you're in a good mood again. But what's... Before Dash could finish her question, Pinky spat out the contents of her mouth onto the ground. It was a sickly brown liquid with chunks of what appeared to be various confectionery sweets mixed in. Once Rainbow recognized the substance for what it was, she gagged herself, zipping up higher into the air. Oh, good Celestia, I usually don't find gross stuff that gross, but that's just sick, she hollered. Pinkie Pie gave her a questionable look. What? Isn't it obvious it's sick? Pinky queried. Hee, that's how those funny little accented ponies like Pipsqueak call puke. Who's talking? Okay. Pinkie Pie, What in Sam Hild possess? What in Sam Hild possess you to hold it in your mouth? Applejack spat, disgusted. Spike had taken his hat off and covered most of his face with it, only his remorse and disturbed eyes visible over the brim as he stared at the warm bile that steamed slightly in the chilly evening air. "You fed me that poison!" Pinky hissed, her cheerfulness suddenly replaced with her previous uncharacteristic anger. "I had to get it out of my system." "What?" That sounds like the same person. Rainbow shrieked, her eyes bulging and irises the size of thumbtacks. "You're saying you forced yourself to yak?" Pinky gave her another innocently confounded look. "And you can't just get rid of the sea salt kick by... Wait, and you can't just get rid of the sea salt kick by puking it. It should still be in your system." "I yacked?" Pinky repeated, flummoxed, not even regarding Rainbow's previous sentence. "But I'm a pony." Rainbow slapped a hoof over her eyes and groaned. Below, Applejack shut her eyes and shook her head slowly, while Spike actually seemed to be trying to contain laughter behind his hat. "You know what? Let's just go. Please." Rainbow began to moan again, turning and hovering up the road once more. "Okay, no more sidetracks, no more party crashing, and Pinkie Pie, no anti-sea salt rants. Spare me." "But Dashie..." "Pinkie Pie..." Rainbow growled sternly, not even looking over her shoulder. Pinkie huffed indignantly. "I was trying to help," she muttered, sulking at the ground as she and the others began to follow Rainbow Dash. Listen, Pinkie Pie," Applejack began carefully as she sidled up beside her friend. Spike mounted on her once again. "Y'all got this anti-sea salt thing all wrong. You see, me and Dash have been doing it together for a long time, and we still have normal lives. I run the farm better than any pony else can. Rainbow Dash keeps up weather maintenance all fine and dandy. Heck, even Big Macintosh does sea salt, I found out today." Applejack laughed at the recent memory of him sneaking that up on her not long before all of this. Pinky gave her a troubled look. "But it's legal, and I was told it's bad for you." Well, obviously sea salt ain't bad for every pony, much less good for 'em. Well, obviously sea salt ain't for every pony, much less good for 'em. Pinky, trust me, Dash and I are fit as a fiddle." Pinky murmured moodily. Kind of sounded like a yum. Oh well. Applejack sighed and gave up. It'd take a lot more convincing to reassure the silly filly, but for now she at least wasn't going on a tirade. Nor pulling another crazy stunt like back at the party. They went on in unbroken silence for a half hour. The sun had sunk deep below the horizon, and Luna's moon now reigned in the starry sky, providing a luminous wash of light along the dirt road to Canterlot. But up ahead, more lights could be seen from the next town, Rainville, spelled R-E-I-N, just for those that think I'm saying rain. It's the other kind of rain. It was about the same size as Ponyville, and apart from brown shingled roofs and cedar shingled siding, the styles of the buildings were almost identical. The town hall was actually a tall stone structure, the stone and mortars old enough to be worn dark by centuries of weather. But it was still well maintained. The shingled roof looked to be completely new, actually, at least by a year or less. The structure appeared to be the remnant of medieval times in Equestria. Now that the foursome was stepping into the town itself, they saw some of the houses were stone like that of the town hall, and just as old. This town was clearly older than Ponyville, and apparently had a more active night on top of that. Usually by this time, few Ponyvillians were about the streets. only to be coming from or going to a pub or restaurant to and from home. But Rainvillians, the foursome observed, relished the nightlife, even in such a small town. The streets were illuminated by crisscrossing lines of magical lamp lights, suspended by roofs and walls of the buildings. Talk and laughter was plentiful as a Ponyville day resounded throughout the town. Stands were closed still, but a lot of eateries and pubs had outside seating filled to the max. Some of the higher-end restaurants had light-toned musicians providing ambiance for the patrons, while the pubs had louder blues and rock bands jamming away. Rainbow actually seemed very impressed with what she was seeing. No offense to Ponyville, but here, nighttime is the right time, the Rainbow Pegasus proclaimed. Y'all best not be thinking of stopping after your little fit back down the trail before, Applejack told her sternly. Pipe down, I'm just saying, Rainbow returned indignantly, waving a dismissive hoof at her friend as she hovered above them by a few feet. Good. I don't want to get sidetracked again by something crazy, Applejack stated. No sooner had the words left her mouth than they heard a familiar voice, louder than the rest, and so loud and commanding it stopped the other voices dead in their track. Boom from the boom from the town square. Citizens of, how would I do that? Citizens of Rainville, the time has come for you to spectate the most grandeur and exuberant performance you will ever lay witness to. Oh, yes. Oh, that can't possibly be. Rainbow Dash trailed off, looking somewhat disturbed and annoyed. Sure sounds like it. I guess I should say that again. Oh, well. Applejack growled behind her head. I thought that was Princess Luna, but it sounds like Trixie to me. Behind her head, Spike growled at himself, unconsciously brandishing his diamond-headed cane and beating the palm of his hand with it. Papa Spike ain't got no love for this, he muttered. Applejack swiveled her head as best she could to see him, eyebrows raised. What was that you just said, little guy? She questioned, unsure. He blinked and shook his head. I don't know. That just came out of nowhere, he stated, looking about as unsure as Applejack now. You know what? Let's try to avoid that buckhead and get on to White Castle, Rainbow said to them, glancing at the corner where that oh-so-familiar and blood-boiling voice kept sounding from. But as soon as the firecrackers and multicolored flashes of lights began, Pinky squealed, "Oh boy, fireworks!" With that, she was off, leaving Dash, AJ, and Spike in the dust. "Oh no, Pinky!" Rainbow groaned and dashed off after the magenta mare, with Applejack galloping after them. But of course, Pinky had summoned her uncanny speed and was at the very front of the audience that had pooled before a new and very much improved caravan stage convertible. Unlike the old thing, this was larger and painted blue with yellow stars. Shut up. One second. Not here. Freaking cat. Convertible. Unlike the old thing, this was much larger and painted blue with yellow stars, shooting stars, and a crescent moon, matching the owner's cape and wizard's hat. Applejack and Rainbow Dash came beside the transfixed Pinkie Pie in time to see the show mare on the stage rear up and shout her name. "The great and powerful Trixie!" "Pinkie!" Rainbow hissed, wrapping her forelegs around her chest and attempting to drag her away. But she was rooted to her spot like a statue, and ultimately heedless of Rainbow's existence like a statue. Repetition. She just wanted to gaze up at Trixie as if it were the first time she had seen the mare. "We gotta get out of here before—" "Mother Bucker!" Trixie suddenly shouted, prompting Rainbow to freeze. and her eyes to bulge in alarm. She had the distinct feeling that the curse had been directed at her. "Oh no," Applejack moaned beside her. Rainbow turned her head to see Trixie was glaring down at them, seething, an eye twitching. "What the hey are you doing here?" she demanded on the edge of the stage, bearing down on the Ponyvillians. The Rainville audience was naturally at a loss at the sudden turn of events, all attention on the three mares and the baby dragon. But said baby dragon hopped onto the stage from behind AJ's back, adjusting his hat and pointing the diamond stud at Trixie's face. Oh, God. I know there's other people in the house. I really don't want to say. Okay, oh well. "You best keep your bitch-ass mouth shut." The audience gasped at that, including AJ, Rainbow, and even Pinky. Trixie just stared at him, dumbfounded. "Don't make Papa Spike have to assert his authority." I don't get it. Is Spike LARPing? Pinky wondered aloud, scratching her head and giving the baby dragon a confounded look. Her statement largely ignored, Trixie's face turned beet red and she growled, baring her teeth and haunching over like a deranged animal. When it seemed she was about to burst, she did. Levitating into the air, her coat turned a jet black and her mane and tail burst into icy blue flames. This caused the crowd to cry out and cower back, even more so when she bellowed in a voice compared to Luna's royal Canterlot voice. "How dare you show such insolence to the great and powerful Trixie, impotent one?" Of all things, Spike didn't look impressed. Oh, Spike, you are such a boss. "Oh, please, save your Firefly show for another time, and talk straight with me. Knock off that great and powerful BS, he told her mildly, resting his cane on the floor and giving her a smug look. Trixie only hissed and turned in midair, bucking him with one leg in the stomach. Taken way off guard, Spike doubled over and accidentally coughed out a long stream of fire on the caravan stage, which quickly began to be consumed by the green magical flame. His three friends gasped in front, not only at the fire, but by the kick to his gut. He was out of it now. Writhing on the ground with an agonized expression. But Trixie now had more things to worry about than a crazy baby dragon. No! Shoot. Crap, I lost my spot, sorry. Okay. "No, not again!" she cried, returning to her regular form, her cape and hat having been completely consumed by her violent transformation. Rainbow acted quickly, flying up to grab Spike as the uncanny flames ate away quickly at the caravan with alarming speed. Trixie herself realized woefully that there was nothing she could do, and quickly dived off the stage. The spot where she had been standing not a second before was flooded over by the Emerald Inferno. It happened so quickly that the entire audience was dumbfounded and speechless. With a magical puff, the flames converted the caravan into a mass of sparkling light, which shot off into the sky, not to be seen in Rainville again. So wait, did Princess Celestia just get a caravan then? That would be so cool. Trixie, disheveled and sweat-soaked, got to her hooves and looked around for those four. But they were gone, not even hiding in the audience. Now her fury was so great it completely blocked out the numb shock of her losing her second, more pricey caravan to another beast. This time, it was a tiny and delusional. "I swear to Celestia." Oh, that just sounded Russian. "I swear to Celestia," Trixie whispered. She inhaled slowly, fully, and when her lungs were full, she screamed, "Revenge!" Spike groaned miserably as he clung to Rainbow Dash's neck as she flew him away from Rainville. She had gone up ahead of Pinky and Applejack just to get him away from Trixie. "Hold on, buddy. I'm going to check up on you now," I'm going to check up on you now, Rainbow said to him, banking down to a trail outside of the town. Rainbow, did I really burn up her caravan? He moaned, somehow his hat still fixed firmly onto his head, and he firmly gripped his cane like a drowning life buoy. Or like a drowning man to a life buoy. Yeah? Why? Dash asked, slightly confused by his concern over the lousy thing. Oh, I was right. Friendship reports, he whispered weakly, unable to formulate a complete sentence. Dash raised an eyebrow, lost. Friendship reports? What about... She cut herself off when the realization snapped across her face. Slapped her across the brain pan. Oh no. The cozy fire in her grandeur hearth crackled away, warming her front as she sat on her plush floor cushion, with her legs drawn up beneath her body. Her alabaster walls held a plethora of portraits, tapestries, and other ornaments collected from ages past during her reign as the Sun Princess of Equestria. Lush and colorful paintings of foreign realms and local sites of Equestria, portraits of dear mortal ponies who she had known throughout her young years, fillies, colts, mares, and stallions. Tapestries made by equestrian hooves hung about in many colors with different symbols of equestrian ponies, cultures, cities, and events, and nationalistic pride and honor. The architecture of the walls was well crafted by hoof of the ever-skilled and graceful prowess of the earth ponies that had built Canterlot, along with the unicorns and Pegasi from the ground up. While the unicorns and Pegasi had definitely been very helpful in the building of the city castle, and very much deserved credit, the strength and raw physical building skill of the earth ponies had ensured the stability and long lastings of the nation's capital. There was more love and care in this rock and mortar than just by those who lived and saw the halls and spires. It was the everlasting love of those that had sweat, bled, and wept over the creation of the nation's capital. Princess Celestia had often felt nostalgic at random moments when alone in some part of the castle. Her arcane mind was able to have picture-perfect memory of what she had said and done by her subjects that poured so much of their energy and care into this build. The princess's silent musing was cut off as an unusually large flock of Spike's magical delivery sparkles raced into the room before her. Before she had any time to wonder why this was, Celestia gave an uncharacteristic yelp when a huge smoky explosion of green energy filled the room, blinding and deafening her for a moment. Celestia gagged gracelessly and shut her eyes against the acrid smoke that wafted in her face. Through ringing ears, she could barely make out the sound of her door bursting open, followed by the shocked and appalled sound of her sister's voice yelling about something or another. Celestia felt a sudden wind tug at her coat and mane, and heard the glass doors to her balcony burst open. When the wind died, she opened her eyes to thank Luna for using the wind spell to clear the room, but the words were stuck in her chest as another sight struck her dumb. Standing in the middle of her room, rather pretty and new-looking, was a stage caravan converter. With the stage out. Celestia glanced beside it to see her sister glancing back at her, sharing the same surprised expression over the appearance of the object. When Celestia looked back at it, she stated, I think I need to explain to Twilight about going too far with a practical joke. Alright, well, I made quite a few mistakes at the end there, but overall, it was a solid reading. So, that is the end of Chapter 3. And I will finish this in the next couple of days. So, yeah.